Now, how is this type of counseling different?
I think a lot of times when people think of counseling, they think of the office or a clinic or someplace that you have to go to. And the unique part of this program is that it's offered in the home, but it depends on the mother's comfort level. So if she prefers coming to the office or she prefers meeting in community location, we can do that, but it's primarily offered in the home. And it focuses on the perinatal period, and so that's why it goes up to 1 year postpartum. And there's a huge emphasis on building and using the mother's social supports, whether it's like her partner, whether it's the child's father, or whoever she identifies, and incorporating them into the treatment. I'm also receiving training from the Postpartum Support International, which is an organization that provides screening tools and other sorts of tools to help better women and to help increase their mental health. And the counselor is really connected to the early childhood system, and like we talked about, collaborates really well with other community partners like Franklin County Home Health Agency, Northwestern Medical Center, obstetrics, pediatricians, Vermont Department of Health, and there's like many other ones, but it's kind of enmeshed in kind of this community organization to help really provide a wrap around mothers in the community.
When we were developing the program with the nurse from Home Health and looking into research, Postpartum Support International, PSI, is a group that, an organization that kept coming up in discussion, and they have this really great curriculum called Components of Care that's really comprehensive, screening, developing support groups, therapy, all sorts of information. They had information regarding prescriptions for mothers who maybe are pregnant or breastfeeding. So it's a very big, encompassing program.
Now, I know we touched a tad on this, but where do referrals come from? How many different areas can be referral sources for this program?
So this is one of my favorite parts about this program, is really a referral can come from anywhere. And like you mentioned, we have such collaborative efforts in the community related to this topic. So a lot of the referrals come from us on the birthing center. We screen patients regularly after delivery through labor and the 2 to 3 days that they stay with us. Our OB providers also provide referrals. Our pediatric providers provide referrals. Your home health agency can provide referrals. Department of Health, WIC nurses can provide referrals. Basically, even a significant other, a grandmother, a grandfather, anybody that's concerned and has a discussion with the mom and the family can really make the referral. And the ease of access has just been phenomenal. And being able to reach out to your team and say, "Hey, I have this mom, she needs help," and the response has just been great from your team. So that's really my favorite part about this program. One of my favorite parts is just the ease. Whoever you're comfortable with, you can reach out and they can get you connected into the program.
Yeah.
Now, how is this type of counseling different?
I think a lot of times when people think of counseling, they think of the office or a clinic or someplace that you have to go to. And the unique part of this program is that it's offered in the home, but it depends on the mother's comfort level. So if she prefers coming to the office or she prefers meeting in community location, we can do that, but it's primarily offered in the home. And it focuses on the perinatal period, and so that's why it goes up to 1 year postpartum. And there's a huge emphasis on building and using the mother's social supports, whether it's like her partner, whether it's the child's father, or whoever she identifies, and incorporating them into the treatment. I'm also receiving training from the Postpartum Support International, which is an organization that provides screening tools and other sorts of tools to help better women and to help increase their mental health. And the counselor is really connected to the early childhood system, and like we talked about, collaborates really well with other community partners like Franklin County Home Health Agency, Northwestern Medical Center, obstetrics, pediatricians, Vermont Department of Health, and there's like many other ones, but it's kind of enmeshed in kind of this community organization to help really provide a wrap around mothers in the community.
When we were developing the program with the nurse from Home Health and looking into research, Postpartum Support International, PSI, is a group that, an organization that kept coming up in discussion, and they have this really great curriculum called Components of Care that's really comprehensive, screening, developing support groups, therapy, all sorts of information. They had information regarding prescriptions for mothers who maybe are pregnant or breastfeeding. So it's a very big, encompassing program.
Now, I know we touched a tad on this, but where do referrals come from? How many different areas can be referral sources for this program?
So this is one of my favorite parts about this program is really a referral can come from anywhere. And like you mentioned, we have such collaborative efforts in the community related to this topic. So a lot of the referrals come from us on the birthing center. We screen patients regularly after delivery through labor and the 2 to 3 days that they stay with us. Our OB providers also provide referrals. Our pediatric providers provide referrals. Your home health agency can provide referrals. Department of Health, WIC nurses can provide referrals. Basically, even a significant other, a grandmother, a grandfather, anybody that's concerned and has a discussion with the mom and the family can really make the referral. And the ease of access has just been phenomenal. And being able to reach out to your team and say, "Hey, I have this mom. She needs help," and the response has just been great from your team. So that's really my favorite part about this program. One of my favorite parts is just the ease. Whoever you're comfortable with, you can reach out and they can get you connected into the program.
So from a referral standpoint, though, are there a lot of ways that these individuals would get to know the program, or, you know what I mean? What would that initial source of the referral be for someone?
Yes.
And how are they aware of the program? I guess
Right,
maybe
so,
is a better way to.
Initially, I guess, from my point of view, being on the birthing center, we screen patients, they may show some risk, and we start having conversations with the family about how transitions can be hard, and we open it up, even prenatally, I should go back. We start talking about it in our Healthy Beginnings programs with the OB providers and talk about how transitions can be hard. And we have this great program through NCSS. Please let us know if you want us to reach out. Or my nurses on the birthing center will flag somebody as being at risk and will personally reach out to your team and make the referral. It's really easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Anna, you mentioned screening.
Yes.
What screening tools are used?
So primarily at our organization, we use the Edinburgh postnatal screening tool. We're beginning to standardize that within the organization, and this is a really easy screening tool. Basically, it's a 10-question tool versus like a 50-question tool, so this one's great. And it's a 10-question tool that should be done privately with the mother. If she's English speaking, it's tailored for English speaking. So if you need interpretation or something, someone can help you with the tool, but we ask that partners aren't involved with the tool. And after filling out the tool, you review it with your provider, and they look at your risk assessment based on how you score with the tool, and then have discussions with the family going forward. You're at high risk for postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety, we recommend you reach out, or what other support services do you have and support within your family to help. And again, it's just a screening tool, and when the moms are filling it out, it's not really overwhelming because they just have to think about the last week. We ask them to look, and the tool recommends you speak to them about the last week and what their thoughts have been about themselves. The other great thing is that I sort of mentioned more of our providers are using the screening tool, so I think that's helping to increase referrals, and it's just becoming standard practice. Having a baby is hard, transitioning to motherhood is hard, and it may not be the first baby, it could be the fourth baby, but it's definitely can be difficult. So I'm really proud of all the providers in the community that are routinely screening these patients. We screen them 2 weeks postpartum. Katya Von Sidis Healthy Beginnings program, and then again at their 6-week postpartum visit with their OB provider.
Yeah. It's been a tremendous undertaking to do that, and I think early on when you're starting with a new screening tool, you have to make sure there's a resource for referrals. If you find someone who's high risk, you want to make sure I know what to do with that referral. I have a phone number I can call right now today for that. So in addition to crisis services and outpatient therapy, it's been nice to build this along the way to support that.
Right, and you mentioned a number I can call right now, because when a mom says she wants help, it is so important to be able to get her the services and speak to somebody on the phone and have response that day before they leave the office or before they leave the birthing center. They just feel so much more support because they may get scared once they go home or once their support isn't there. So I think thank you for that. That's been great.
And speaking of scared, I would imagine to some degree there's stigma involved with a woman thinking, I don't want to admit something because maybe I'm different from everyone else, when in essence they aren't.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think that our hope, one of our hopes for this, is that we can help decrease that stigma. You know, that even if you are looking forward to this is something you've dreamed about, you're really quite happy about it. That you know, these conditions, you know, they can surprise you. You may not be ready for them, but it's not a statement about you as a mother and your abilities or your love for your baby. That it's something that you can get treatment for.
Now, how do you support mom's wellness?
Well, there is a variety of different techniques that I use. The first one, and Anna mentioned this a little bit, is just validation. I mean, it's really hard when you have this newborn, and whether you're, you know, first-time mom or whatever, just trying to care for this little life and trying to balance everything else in your life is really challenging. So just validating and supporting in that way. And really just trying to strategize around basic components of daily wellness, basic sleep, exercise, diet. It can be really hard to take care of yourself when you're having to take care of someone else, and just recognizing that it's okay to put yourself first and then to be able to take care of the tiny little human. And it's also like different strategies for working with how to manage stress. So that might be mindfulness, it might be like yoga, it might be meditation, it might be something as basic as just taking a 5-minute walk outside, and also too focusing on the supports of the mom. Who can you pull in for, you know, an afternoon so you can go take a shower, or who can you have if you just need like a couple hours to just take a nap, and just really focusing and on building those positive social supports.
Now, what other supports are there for mothers?
So there are actually a lot of great resources in the community and collaborative efforts that I'm so proud of. So the first one I'd like to talk about is the Baby Bumps Support Group. So this is a huge collaborative effort. So the Baby Bumps group is held at Northwestern Medical Center on the Family Birth Center in our conference room. The education is provided by NCSS in your program, but the group is held or facilitated by Rhonda from Franklin County Home Health. And so this group meets the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of every month at 5:30 in the evening, and moms can come and just have support with other moms going through the same thing. And it's facilitated by Rhonda. She has pretty notebooks. It's fun, it's safe, and patients really get a lot of support from that. There's also lactation groups from NCSS, and there's a great breastfeeding and massage group through NCSS, which I think is delightful.
Third Wednesday of the month.
Third Wednesday of the month, okay, thank you. And then there's just plain old nursing that can happen through like nursing visits through Franklin County Home Health, and just by having that nurse come to your house, and which is similar to what Jess does, they can weigh the baby, measure the baby, and just have that person to validate you, to, you know, tell you you're not crazy. Like, it's just hard becoming a mom. And then there's the the Department of Health Services, and then, you know, the NCSS Children's Integrated Services team is great as well for other supports.
Yeah, we have a variety of supports at NCSS. That in addition to, you know, the great nursing and medical providers we work with, we have developmental and behavioral and parenting supports that can come out to your house. And for our families in Grand Isle, we also have the Visiting Nurse Association of Chittenden and Grand Isle counties, so a nurse can come out from that agency as well.
Now, what impact do you hope perinatal mental health counseling will have on the community?
Well, I think we talked about it a little bit with decreasing stigma, and we really just want to increase awareness that this is an issue for families. It's an issue for mothers, it's an issue for families and all of the caregivers and family members that support them. That it's pregnancy and the postpartum period, it's the entire perinatal period, and that you know, it's okay to ask for help, that there are people here, that there's a way to get healthy, to become better. And I think also I'm really hoping to just continue to support all of the agencies that are working with these families to strengthen our system.
One other cool thing that I've learned through this program is it's not just about depression. you know, there's such a wide range of perinatal mood, whether it's anxiety or OCD, like you started mentioning in the beginning, I think is important, because people think of the classic depression symptoms that they see, and you're like, well, that's not me, but there's such a wide range, and there's help and to, you know, help you get through.
And also too, to recognize the impact that it can have on the fathers as well, and that they can also suffer from postpartum depression and anxiety, because it is a family change. And so it's also recognizing too that there's mothers, and sometimes it can be the fathers too, who need the support and the guidance.
So we're really trying to be the system around, you know, the families, to, you know, to screen, to create programs, to make referrals, but we're really looking for the community to just know more about mothers and their mental health, and being there to ask moms, how are you doing? Being there to ask that simple question, I think, would be really key.
Now, Jessica, you mentioned, you know, about the dads and what have you. Let's talk a moment about, you know, you have the mom, who certainly is perhaps struggling on her own, but the dad or the partner, and what about when there might be other children in the family as well? So now a child or two children realize that there's going to be another little one in the family, and maybe all the attention's not going to be on them. I mean, all these different dynamics at play. How does all that play out in this program as far as being able to assist?
And so that's a great question, and I think that's where integrating family services comes into play. So like, I can focus on the mother's mental health, but I can make a referral to another one of my teammates from early childhood support, who can come out and kind of work with the behaviors of the child, or help support the other sibling in the home, to how do you navigate to now being a big brother or big sister, and how does this all work, and to work with the parents on different parenting skills to really kind of help best support the whole family. So it can be a collaboration effort between me or some of the other community partners that Anna mentioned, to be able to best support everyone.
So I need to ask a question before this program. What happened? How did women find help?
Well, I think that there are a variety of ways to have services. You know, there's crisis services, there's therapy. I think many individuals were finding services, but there was a certain population, the moms that weren't likely to make those appointments or to drive out from their home, or maybe who didn't have a car to be able to do that. So I think that there were always mothers that would go out and get services, but maybe not as many that could.
See. So,
and I was going to say, we do have I know there's another therapist at our agency who works with reach-up clients, and this is an area of specialty for her as well. So, you know, she has a very particular population that she works with, but it's definitely an interest for her, and she identified it, that it was something that needed a little bit more attention.
and Heather, you had mentioned this earlier, I believe, but individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities who may be going through this time of their life, how they fall into this scenario of being able to help them?
So I'd say, you know, we would work very closely with developmental services. You mentioned that was one of our service divisions at NCSS, that to make sure that the therapy was fit in line with all of the other services that they had, that we utilized their other caregivers or their treatment providers. I don't know that we've expanded our program into that area yet with that population, but we would be willing to do that. We would just want to partner with developmental services to make sure we are attuned to everything that needed to be addressed.
Now, in a perfect world, how would this program look a year from now? So, you've gone from the pilot period to introducing and rolling out, and let's go fast forward, if we could, 12 months. If we were sitting here, how would you like the program to have advanced itself in helping women?
Well, I think one of the first steps that we've already taken is the partnership between like NMC and NCSS, and so I think that's really important to be able to capture women when the symptoms are first starting, rather than down the road when things maybe have been exacerbated. So I think just to continue in that, and just to continue to partner with Franklin County Home Health to really just kind of capture and support all the mothers that we possibly can.
And I would love to see our collaboration grow, and even maybe, I'm getting creative now, have you come and see our moms prenatally in a Healthy Beginnings visit or something, so they
Yes.
can have a face to put with the program and know that they can remember somebody to reach out to if they need help. I think
And
that
also
would be cool.
is to ideally is to maybe grow the program as well, because right now the number of slots is limited. We have a limited referral, but with it being just up to 1 year postpartum, the nice thing is there's always movement. So it's not like the same population will stay there for a long period of time. And so it's nice too that as women are supported, and then as it continues, then maybe more referral spots will be able to be available.
So if anyone's interested in calling direct, who do they call? What's the number?
Our main number works for that. It's 524-6554, and you can make a referral that way. And Jess Dewis is the therapist that would get the referrals.
We get the referral. Okay. Okay. Well, believe it or not, our time is up this month, and I do want to thank my guests, Heather Wilson, Jessica Dewis, and Anna Gabbery, for being on the show today and sharing their insights on the perinatal period in a mom's life and the potential mental health counseling that may be required. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for spending time with us again this month. You can learn more about NCSS and all of our programs and services by logging on to ncssinc.org. I'm Joe Halco, and I'll be back next month with another episode of NCSS Here for You. This has been another episode of NCSS Here for You. We hope that you found today's discussion informative and educational. Since 1958, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to high-quality services which promote healthy living and emotional well-being to the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. Thanks once again for tuning in this month. NCSS's purpose remains creating a stronger community, one person at a time.